Hi, good morning, everyone. We will be ready to start very soon. Let's give a couple more minutes for those who are late to join. For now, feel free to introduce yourselves in the chat. Tell us where you're joining from. I have to outline that this meeting today is being recorded. We will be sharing the recording of this webinar with every participant, together with some materials, some product materials for today's demo, just right after this webinar. Okay. I'm seeing in the chat someone is joining from Canada. Okay. Yeah, I'm expecting Florida, US. Yeah, I'm expecting more of a US crowd today. We had a similar webinar earlier today at noon local time for the European crowd. But for this time zone, I would be expecting more of a US people to joining. Connecticut. Very good. All right. Maybe a few more minutes until the last people are joining in, and we are ready to start. You've noticed that your cameras and microphones are muted today. This is done just for the to streamline the experience. If you have any questions during this session, just use the Q&A section of Teams. You will find it in the upper ribbon of the tool right next to the chat. There is a Q&A with the little question mark icon inside a bubble. And if you click there, you can type in your question. You can upvote the questions from others. And we will cover those in the end of the session. All right, let's get started. I will start by sharing my screen. Hi, and welcome again to today's webinar. And the subject of our conversation today is managing data spills with confidence. Let me start by briefly introducing myself. My name is Alexei. I'm currently a Chief Operating Officer here in Jetico. I've been with Jetico for over 10 years. I've joined as a junior engineer in test. I've been testing the software, including BCWipe, for many, many years. So I'm the person who is qualified to talk about this product, to present it to you today. And very recently, I've also helped BCWipe be upgraded to include the data discovery module to be able to locate sensitive files across the enterprise network in just a few clicks. But we will talk about it today, later on in the demo. So what you can expect from us today. The agenda for today is I will start by briefly introducing our company and telling you what we do and who our clients are. We will then move on to the core subject of today's webinar, which is data spills. We will talk about what data spills are and what are some challenges that pop up when addressing classified data spills. And we will cover a 3-step response to data spill remediation. And we will conclude this webinar today with the live demo. I will show you how BCWipe works and how BCWipe can help you address classified data spills in a more efficient and effective manner. Then we'll have a little break before we are transitioning to the Q&A session. This is the time where I will review all your questions that have been submitted during the demo, and we'll go through any subject that felt important for you during the session. All right, if we are good with that, Then moving on. So let me introduce you to the company that I'm representing today. I'm proudly representing Jetico. Jetico has been around for more than 29 years now. We are actually celebrating our 30th year anniversary just in a few weeks from now. We have proudly served over 1 million customers everywhere around the globe. We've been blessed to be given trust from the highest security organizations around the world. These are just some of our clients. You can see a lot of government agencies worldwide, some defense contractors, and so on. So for over 20 years now, we've been trusted by the top security organizations around the globe. 30 years ago, we have started by developing encryption solutions before apps or even operating systems were even a thing. We were developing hardware encryption modules for your motherboards. You will probably recognize us more by our other brand name today, BCWipe. We are more known for offering wiping solutions these days. However, we still carry the legacy of encryption, and I will also cover it today in our demo. You will see that not only our products are effective when it comes to data erasure, they also bear this inherent understanding of how secure systems should be built and organized. And because we have expertise in our in-house encryption, we can also develop wiping tools in a way that every component of the tool is communicating with other components in a secure manner, and everything within the tool is encrypted as well, securing your personal sensitive information to the highest level. All right. I think I'm finished with the introduction. Again, if you have any questions, just make sure to submit it in the Q&A section. But I'm moving on to the core subject of our today's meeting is data spills. What is a data spill? I'm expecting, because people who are interested in addressing classified data spill probably are very aware of what it is. But for anyone who is new to the subject, in a nutshell, data spill is when some sensitive file or data ends up residing somewhere it shouldn't be residing. Of course, this definition can vary across different organizations, across different industries. A more formal definition of a data spill could be an unauthorized release of sensitive information. And unauthorized is really a key word here, because you will see also that most of the time data spills are caused by a human error. So a person is accidentally attaching a file that shouldn't be attached to an email chain, and in one click, this file ends up being on multiple endpoints across your network. In the best case scenario, in the worst case scenario, also ends up outside your network. Why are data spills such a pain? Because they compromise our security and compliance. When a file ends up on an unclassified endpoint, it bears a potential risk to further spread, to spreading the information, the sensitive information, to somewhere it shouldn't belong. So we risk fines, we risk compliance trouble, and so on. This is why it's very important to have the right tool in your toolkit to be prepared for when data spill occurs. Let's now talk about some challenges that come up when addressing classified data spill. So one of the key challenges is data spills are usually time sensitive. Why is it so time sensitive? Well, because after the initial spill occurs, it's very hard to notice how the data is propagating further. So once this file has ended up on an endpoint it shouldn't be residing on, the third-party apps start working with this file, start maybe putting it to their databases, start creating backup copies, and so on. And this is why it's very important to react almost instantaneously to isolate the data spill, to isolate those affected endpoints, to prevent the information from spreading further and further. The more time passes after the initial incident, the more likely the sensitive files that you will need to clean up later, the more they are likely to spread around your network. And this is mixed in with the second challenge, actually. The second challenge here is to track data's path, right? So you're probably, normally you are aware of what happened, like who attached the wrong file where. But once the wrong file is on the wrong system, it starts being very tricky to see, to track down the paths of where this file is going further. It's one thing to look after a file body, but we also know that operating system performs thousands of actions behind the scenes. It creates secure backups, it creates temporary files, and in the blink of an eye, your sensitive data is being duplicated, is being spread across the endpoint and across the network. So you need a tool that is able to track down all instances of a file that has spilled. And once you are finished with those, of course, the main challenge is to ensure proper and secure sanitization. So once you have isolated the affected endpoints, once you have tracked down every location where the file ended up, you need to have a tool ready to erase the data from those affected endpoints to essentially remediate the data spill. When it comes to ensuring sanitization, it's very important to not only target the file itself, but exactly target this data remnants, every trace of a file that has been created during the time that this file was residing on an unclassified machine. So having talked about the challenges, let's now talk about the response to those challenges. What could be a three-step response to a data spill? So of course, step one would be to locate and identify the data spill, right? To identify the affected endpoints, to identify the specific location within those endpoints that needs to be cleaned. Step two is, of course, then to erase and remediate, to target the instances of the file itself and to target every data remnants that has been created during this time, and to be able to securely erase it beyond forensic recovery. And the final step, which can be also very important, is to be able to perform verification, to be able to guarantee to your own team and to your management and to or a compliance party that you have remediated the data spill for good, that the data that you attempted to get rid of indeed cannot be recovered anymore. So let's talk about BCWipe now. BCWipe is just the tool to address classified data spills. BCWipe has been a go-to tool for dealing with classified data spills for the past 20 plus years within the top security organizations worldwide. Why is that? What is that BCWipe can do that the other tools cannot? Well, let's look at the key features of BCWipe. First and foremost, the core feature of BCWipe is, of course, Erasure. Erasure beyond forensic recovery. BCWipe can target files and specific folders on an active endpoint, and it can remove traces of unwanted files without touching or harming the operating system or the file system structures around those files. But beyond that, BCWipe can also target data remnants. Data remnants are those traces of files that remain in the operating system that can mention that the presence of the file, that can point to the presence of the file. One simple example could be the leftover of the file staying in the free space of the drive. Once the file is deleted, it actually can be recovered. So the content of the data still remains in the sectors of the hard drive. However, it remains unseen to the file system itself. The sectors are marked as free and technically can be used by the operating system. But we know from research that sometimes it takes weeks before traces of previously existing files are being overwritten. So these are the core capabilities of BCWipe. BCWipe can not only target the body of the file, it can also target the metadata, it can also target the locations inside the OS that can link to this file. It can also target traces of previously existing files. And it does so with the with usability and with automation possibilities. Looking back at the evolution of BCWipe, how the tool that was 20 years ago is no longer there. The tool that required expertise, we understand that these days people of all walks of life are using this tool, and we try to develop this tool in a way that you don't need to be an expert to start using it. We try to develop usability features and automation features in BCWipe that BCWipes helps you to navigate your Erasure journey more efficiently and more effectively. And one of those automation and usability features, something that combines both automation and usability, is the newest addition to the BCWipe feature set, is the data discovery capability within the tool. So by introducing a data discovery into BCWipe, we are able to offer the first ever combined solution for not only erasing the files, but also locating the files that need to be erased. This transforms BCWipe from being just a tool to target specific files to being a solution to targeting, locating, isolating files that have to do with the data spill, for example, and then being able to erase them beyond forensic recovery. Let's have a closer look at the data discovery module within BCWipe. This module allows you to crawl your entire enterprise network, whether everything is located in one physical site or across multiple physical sites. Every computer that is connected to the database can be indexed, crawled, and searched for files that are associated with the specific data spill, or also when it comes to, let's say, regulations like credit card industry regulations, or something when you need to get rid of the personally identifiable information. You can also find traces of sensitive files of specific format across your entire network. And then, of course, the cherry on top of that cake is that once the files are found, you can review the search results and you can target those files to erase them beyond forensic recovery in just a click. In a few moments, I will also demonstrate you how it's done on an example of addressing a data spill, an actual data spill without this imaginary organization that we've prepared for the sake of this demo. But this is your brief introduction to the data discovery module combined with BCWipe. Okay, and now it's time for the demo. Once again, I encourage you to submit any questions that you have. Don't wait for the Q&A session. Submit any questions you have already now. And the way to do so is next to the chat icon in your Teams app. You can see the little bubble with a question mark. This is the Q&A. Type in your question, upvote questions from others, and we'll be covering them after a short break after the demo. Give me a moment to switch to my demo environment. Okay, what you're seeing on your screen right now is Jetico Central Manager. Jetico Central Manager is our in-house solution for managing BCWipe across multiple endpoints in your organization. And now something that I brought up earlier about the security first approach within Jetico comes to play. You can see that before you can even access the management view of this tool, you need to authenticate yourself and log in. The database and your access is protected with the highest level security developed by our engineers, backed up with the years of experience developing secure encryption tools. This tool also provides role-based management, meaning that you can create multiple accounts. Each of those accounts can have different level of access. So you can follow also the principle of least privilege to create account that have the very least privilege to manage wiping activities across the network. Okay, we're in. After providing the correct password, we can log into our Jetico Central Manager. This is the main view. What you see here is your company page. For the sake of this demo, we've created an imaginary company. You can see its name, its logo, your stats about licenses, and also the list of wiping policies. A wiping policy is essentially an accumulation of wiping tasks together with the wiping scheme. Wiping scheme is the rule according to which the files are being erased. You can see here that our default policies support most commonly thought regulations such as NIST, HIPAA compliance, and of course the DoD compliance requirement. So for those users who want to start using this day one, they can rely on the built-in wiping policies that are developed by our experts, by our engineers. However, you can also see that creating your own customized wiping policy is as easy as just clicking Add New Wiping Policy here. You can then choose the files you want to wipe, the schedule that you want to apply to those wiping tasks, and also, of course, the wiping policy that best fits your internal requirements. And here on the left, you can see a tree of computers and groups. So all computers that are being connected to the Jetico Central Manager are appearing here in the database. For the sake of convenience, you can also group them in different groups. For this demo, we decided to group the computers by their physical location, emulating two sites within this organization. The benefit behind that is that you can assign wiping policies to individual computers, but also to computer groups, which means that every computer that belongs to a selected group will automatically inherit the group policy. So in that sense, you can apply a wiping policy to an entire group of computer, and this policy will be distributed to all child computers in a matter of a click. All right, so this is the overview of the wiping of the management part of the thing. Every computer you can look into and see more details about it. You can see brief overview of the drives connected to this PC, of their storage capacity, of the amount of clutter files accumulated, and you can see the list of wiping tasks that is currently applied to this computer. Because we are talking about managing data spills, and we've discussed previously that one of the steps in addressing the data spill would be to locate the information that is spilled first. We will now be focusing on the search component, on the data discovery module of the Jetico Central Manager console. So you can see that the search component is readily available in just the next tab here. And what we will do today is I will simulate two searches for you. We've invented a project called Project Aurora. And in the backstory is this is a classified project, and some materials associated with the project has spilled across the organization. And we will try to locate the files associated with this project today. So the most common search criteria I will demonstrate is searching by keyword. It is as easy as just selecting the keyword filter here. You can see from the drop-down list that there's a big variety of search filters available, from choosing to search for data according to a specific preset, to searching specific file locations, looking for files according to an pre-uploaded dictionary, and limiting also file search by date, size, file type. But in addition to this pretty standard search practices, we also offer something that comes very handy when addressing data spills, is searching files by their hash or uploading a sample file to look for similarities across the entire network. Searching by sample file will be the second example of today's demo, so we will focus on this in detail in just a few minutes. But for now, I will start my search with the keyword, and the keyword for today will be Aurora, according to the name of our project. What I will do today is also I will exclude the system and program folders, just that the search is running faster. And something that makes a lot of sense when dealing with a classified data spill, I will limit the date range of this file. Usually when working with a data spill, you would know the time and the day when the incident occurred. So you will be able to, let's say, only look for files that have been created or modified after a specific day of the incident. In this example, I'll be looking for files that were created after the 13th of May. And once my filters are ready, I can give it a friendly name. Let's say keyword Aurora, date range. This is something for just an easier navigation later on when we can see the history of previous searches in the corresponding tab of the Jetico Central Manager. This is just for us to be able to navigate the history of searches easier. And once our filters are configured, we are ready to just start the search and let it run. What will happen here is that you will see all the computers that are included in this search, and for every computer, you will be able to see the progress associated with this specific endpoint. So you can follow the progress of searching the files in real time, depending on the size of the hard drives attached to those PCs. They can take longer or shorter times. You can have another overview of the filters that you've selected, and once the files are being found, you can also switch to the search result tab and see the matches. So the metric for this keyword search is the number of matches that are being found for a specific keyword in a given file. So you can see here that certain files have up to 4 matches, some files have smaller matches. Every column here is sortable, so you can sort, let's say, the list of search results by the number of matches, so to be able to review the most relevant files most. Okay, and so once the search has completed, you can just select the files. You can preview those files to see if indeed this specific file matches the prompt, that indeed this is the file that is part of a data spill. You can confirm that, and once you're ready, you can refine the search results by selecting or deselecting specific files, and remediating the data spill is as easy as clicking wipe data here in the console directly. You can choose, of course, the wiping scheme. We offer up to 20 different wiping schemes corresponding to various international regulations. For the sake of this demo, I will just use the simplest wiping scheme, one random pass, to ensure that this runs fast and smooth. Something that we've talked about as one of the requirements for a data spill is being able to verify that the data is gone for good. This can be achieved in multiple ways. So first is you can enable automated verification within BCWipe. What BCWipe will do, it will then have, after the wiping is complete, it will go and have a look in the sectors that were hosting the original file that was to be erased. And BCWipe will confirm that indeed those sectors now contain wiping pattern according to the wiping scheme and not the content of the file. So step one, you can rely on automated verification with BCWipe. Step two, after the wiping is complete, you can also generate an erasure report confirming that these specific files were successfully remediated. You can use it internally or you can show it to a controlling party. So once we are ready to wipe, it is as simple as just clicking wipe selected. Here, this action is irreversible, so be mindful every time you're doing this. All right. I'm planning to run another search on the same network, so I will not be wiping the files here. Instead, I will use a help search that I've ran during our European demo today in the morning. And a similar search that has wiped results finished, so you can see what files were wiped. And I will just demonstrate how to generate an erasure report associated with a successful search and wipe. So we'll just click here, generate report. I will select the file format. For this demo, I will choose PDF. I will switch to data erasure report. I will give it a friendly name. Let's say Project Aurora Data Spill Cleanup. I will include detailed information for all the file names and file locations that were found to be associated with the given data spill, and I will just click generate. Let me open this quickly. Okay, and this is how it looks like. According to the NIST standard, every report should have a uniquely identifiable number. So this is generated automatically by BCWipe. You will see a title page containing the information about the search configuration, search result, the amount of files that were wiped. You can print and sign it by several entities within your organization. And a customizable addition extension to this report is then detailed information about every file, every location that was erased, the success rate, and everything that you need. So this is how simple and how quick it is to run through all those three steps that we've discussed in the slides: to locate, to remediate, and then to verify. Three simple steps. Okay, we have covered a very basic search query, but what I wanted to show you, something that comes very handy when working with classified data spills specifically, is search by sample file. So how it works is that you can upload a sample file, and most of the time when working with a data spill, you know exactly what file or files have ended up where they shouldn't be. So you have actually access to the file. So what you can do is you upload an example file, and I've prepared a report. We can even preview it here. So this is a fake report associated with this project Aurora that we've been talking about. And I will upload a sample file for the Jetico Central Manager to crunch it down. And again, I will limit my search to exclude system folders. And I will limit my search by date because in this case, I'm pretty sure that an incident has occurred later than 13th of May. And again, once we are ready with configuring our filters, and we can call this search Aurora sample report, you can go ahead and start. Search after selecting all the computers. And again, the search has started. And the peculiar thing that I wanted to outline again for the sake of this demo before this search is completed, we have limited time. So I will switch to a similar search from my history that ran earlier today. What I wanted to outline here is that even though I have submitted a doc format file as my sample file, you can see that the findings are sometimes PDF files like this. This is an exact copy of the file, except it's in PDF. So BCWipe Search can find different file formats of the same document. It can also find data within scanned images, for example. But not only this, when we talked about the challenge of tracking where does the file end up spreading, I mentioned that sometimes, especially when it comes to mail programs, sometimes the original file would not retain its original extension or its original content. Sometimes it would end up in different databases or temporary files, having only potentially bits of sensitive information remaining. So these files I've created for the test purpose. These files are, can actually preview them. These files are designed to simulate the database containing, let me go here, search results. So these files are actually simulating a database, for example, where the original file is just a smaller part of this database. It represents less than 5%, and it's not even the entire content of the file that is being presented here. You can see that mostly this file is gibberish, but then suddenly there is an excerpt of our original file, and it's less than 30% of the original report. However, BCWipe search component is smart enough to even find traces of the original report file within other files with different extensions within databases and so on. So according to the amount, to the size of the chunks, to the proximity of the original file and the findings, BCWipe will also assign a relevance score to the search results. And again, you can filter the search result list by its relevance score. So the files that are exact copies of the file, like here, the PDF version of the same doc report will receive the highest relevance, whereas the files that are reworked versions of this files, the files that potentially contain only parts and bits of the original file, they will receive sometimes lower relevance scoring. But the most important part, that BCWipe Search will not skip a single instance of the file. It will even find files within archives. So within a zip archive, here's an example of this. Let me expand them in here. Maybe in the previous search. However, it will also find files within a zipped archives, and it will also be able to surgically erase such files within those archives without necessarily needing to touch the files that are not relevant to our search results. So if you have an archive, if your sensitive file ended up being zipped in an archive with 100 other files, BCWipe will be able to locate that file, and not only, but to also surgically erase it from an archive, leaving the rest of the files intact. All right. This concludes the demo part for today's webinar. Just to remind you what we've covered during this live demo action. We had a look at Jetico Central Manager. We had a look at how the company is being represented. We talked about what wiping policies are, and we talked about the built-in wiping policies in this software. We had a look at the tree of computers and groups, and we had a look at the view for individual computers, how their drives are being represented, how the amount of information that is potentially containing sensitive information, how it's being represented in the console, and how it's being available to run an immediate wiping task. And we had an overview of a search component. We reviewed some of the main filters, especially those that are relevant to the data spills remediation process. We have looked at how to start your first search. We've looked at the history of search. And we have browsed through the search result, and we were able to successfully erase and generate a wiping report for a given search query. Later on, when you would start using Jetico Central Manager, you would log in to your console. The first thing you would see on a day-to-day basis is the dashboard. The dashboard also comes handy to give you an essence, to give you a feeling of how your wiping tool, how BCWipe, how well it's working for you. It gives you an overview of what amount of information you're wiping, what amount of clutter and junk files are currently residing in your systems. And it gives you also a quick control to reviewing and solving any issues that might arise during wiping with this attention required widget that opens the log file, focusing your attention on those endpoints that require human participation. And I have to outline, closing this demo segment for today, I have to outline that although this is a browser-based console, you might have a feeling that this requires internet connection, but it actually does not. So because of the nature of the customers that we're typically working with, all our tools are designed to work in a completely air-gapped environments. So it relies on your local network. As long as this tool as long as your device has a browser, you can install this tool on premise, and you can open the central management console from any device that has a web browser without having a connection to the greater internet. Okay, having said this, I'm ready to conclude the demo part of this section, and I'm awaiting your questions in the Q&A section of the Teams app. I will be making a short break to catch up my breath. I've been talking a lot today, so please submit any of the last-minute questions, and meanwhile, I'll have a sip of water, and I will be reviewing the questions that have already been submitted so far. All right, and we are ready to go through the questions. Justin asks, can I try out BCWipe and search? Is there a free trial available? Yes, the free trial is available. We will just need your email address to send you a download link. The free trial features 21 days of having access to all features of BCWipe, including the search component. The only limitation of a trial version is that it only will offer to use this one random wiping pass wiping scheme. So the most basic one that I used for effective but quick wiping. So anything that is required beyond that for compliance, the DoD schemes are not included with the free trial version. However, all the feature set, all the wiping capabilities, all the search capabilities are in there. I will be sharing also my contents and the contacts of our sales team later on at the end of this presentation. You can also see my contact details in my bio associated with this webinar. So feel free to contact me directly if you need to request a trial for this. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out to us and we'll gladly answer everything and give you access to any product materials. Miranda asks, we've used BCWipe on our Windows servers years ago, but now most of our file server CIFS shares are hosted on either Dell, EMC, and NetApp NAS array. Does BCWipe fully work with enterprise-level NAS devices? These have specialized OSs. Yeah, very good question. Yes, BCWipe works. BCWipe works the most efficiently when BCWipe is installed directly on the system that it's working with. Those appliances that you list here are also supported by BCWipe as long as they appear as network drives or local drives within an endpoint where BCWipe is installed to. However, for the most reliable result, I would recommend to have a combined approach. So when I was introducing our product portfolio, I've mentioned that on the wiping side, we offer two flavors, file folder erasure as well as full drive erasure. So for those NAS appliances, I would use BCWipe throughout their life cycle to enable immediate remediation of the files that need to be gone or during the life cycle, and then in the end of the life cycle, I would suggest to use BCWipe total wipeout that erases the entire user addressable space of those devices before you dispose of those. Why the search process is so quick is one of the questions. Good question. The search process is actually so robust because it's built on an indexing. So BCWipe, when it's being installed and connected to the database as a client tool, it is able to create an index. This is something that you can control if you wish. You can disable this feature or enable it. But the benefit of using the indexing feature is that you don't need to, you save time by creating a database of files beforehand. So every new file that is being created or ending up on the endpoint is being indexed. So once you have to find something, BCWipe will not actually crawl all the files one by one. It will rely on this index created before, and this allows for quick performance. This comes very important, specifically talking about the challenges that we discussed earlier today. One challenge being time sensitivity. So to prevent the files from spreading and propagating further in the network during a classified data spill, this reliance on having both BCWipe and the search component already installed on those systems helps a great deal saving time and being more effective, more efficient when it comes to finding, locating, and remediating the sensitive data. Does it work on SSD? Yes, it does. Yeah, it's a very popular question. I've answered it also earlier today. Almost every demo that I'm giving, I get this question. True that hard drives are different from the way that are just physically different from solid state drives, and they require different approach to ensure security and availability. And there's been a lot of confusion in the industry around year 2010 when SSDs were first introduced. Many of our competitors stopped offering selective erasure services for SSDs, but Jetico is, in that sense, has been more than just a vendor. Jetico has been also pushing the industry and the technology further. We are proudly holding several patents, and these patents also cover the performance of selective erasure on SSD. One of the technologies that we have invented specifically to deal with selective erasure on SSD is reserved space manager. And this is a technology that enables you to erase selected files off SSDs more effectively and more efficiently by preserving an amount of free space on a subsequent wipe in a clean state, preventing third-party apps from writing to this space and gradually allowing more and more free space to be used by the apps as needed. So yes, BCWipe is the industry leader when it comes to addressing selected files, specifically on SSDs and hybrid memory. We actually have a good one-pager regarding the performance of BCWipe on SSD, where a lot of these questions are answered. So if someone is particularly interested, contact me or our team using the contact details provided in the end of this session, and we'll send you the specifics of the workings of BCWipe on SSDs. What does templates type of search filter means? What types of templates are supported? Okay, good question. I think this is best presented when there's something to see. So let me just get back to demonstrating my screen. We'll have a look at the template. Here's the list of templates that are available for the data discovery module within Jetico Central Manager. And you can see that templates are, for example, credit card numbers, PIN numbers, social security numbers, passport numbers, and so on. So templates are, in a way, a regular expression. So it's something that allows you to find a specific piece of information without knowing what you're looking for, right? It's very easy to find something when you know a person's name. It's very easy to find a personal file where you know just the name and just the date of birth. However, when you just need, for example, to locate and secure all information that is personally identifiable information, for example, a social security number, without knowing the exact social security number. This is where templates come handy. So by choosing a social security number template here, you can crawl your entire network looking for files that resemble a specific structure of a social security number that has the specific length, that has the specific amount of digits, the specific variations of digit as the social security number, as a credit card number, as a CVV code, and so on. So this is actually one of the advanced tools within this data discovery module that allows you to find information according to a certain classification without necessarily knowing what you're looking for. I hope this answers the question. Let me see if there's anything else in the chat. In the Q&A section. Nothing so far. In my experience, a lot of really good questions come up the moment that you close the webinar, the moment that you disconnect. Of course, our brains need some time to digest this information. It's a lot to go through. Like, clearly, this BCWipe has a more than 20-year-old history. It has loads and loads of features, loads and loads of technology offering. So yeah, it's very hard to just fit it everything in 1 hour. I'm trying to do my best. I'm a little bit out of breath by now, but yeah, every time I'm pretty happy to talk about this product because this is really a product that combines innovation with usability, with automation, and offering as the full circle solution to identify, locate, and remediate sensitive information. All right, I think if there are no more questions coming up in the Q&A, we are ready to start closing this session. I will just put on screen for the remaining minutes the files containing my contact details and the contact details of my team, because my contact details you can also find in the bio associated with the webinar. These are the best ways to contact us. Visit our website, send an email to sales@jetico.com requesting a free trial, or just simply call us. We are located in Finland, so for the American crowd over here, we are very close, just across the pond. And yeah, as you can see from our customer base, we are used to working with the US business hours. We are ready to pick up the phone every time. So give us a call. But I'm very thankful to everyone who has joined us today for this discussion. It's been a great session. Again, I'm always happy to talk about BCWipe. There has been a good number of questions today, so I'm thankful to everyone who has joined, and I'm wishing everyone a great rest of the day.